Okay, so this video is about writing ads, specifically search ads on Google Ads or your Google Ads account. I'm going to go through all the stuff that I found over the last 10 plus years to find just a general formula that I use now over and over again to get the highest response, i.e. click-through rate on my ads, which then gets your cost per click as low as possible, maximizes your possible throughput in a given niche, given it's only so big and there's only so much action to get, and ultimately maximize your profit, channeling as much of the profitable business as you can and then just kind of leaving the rest. And so I'm going to go through my short list of things here of just basic things that I've picked up over the last 10 years and then also kind of explain how I write my ads. So you can also apply these same things to yourself and your own campaigns here. So I'll go through, I have 5 things here on my list. The main thing is, before I get started, is to say more specific is better. Like everything else in life, they say the devil's in the details. Well, the results are in the details too. Everything comes down to, given it's a competitive market space there on Google, at any given time there's usually 20, 30 different businesses in markets that are developed or somewhat saturated or fully saturated, of people that are trying to vie for those 7 ad spaces, 4 up top, 3 up bottom, to actually have their ads there. Google's constantly testing out which ads deserve to be there, getting a high response rate, checking out how people behave when they get to your site or the person's site. And it's not just about money. You definitely pay a premium, and by paying a premium you can get there. If your response rates and what you do with your ads is bad enough, there's no way you're going to be able to pay the price that Google wants and still make money. So therefore, not only do you want to do this stuff to make money, it's a basis of the standard of making money at all and being able to afford to be there at all. So, and if you're going to go ahead and do it, might as well go all the way. And you can definitely do that if you're the person that's willing to go into the details, not just show up like 9 out of 10 people try to do, and which either don't make any money and know it or don't know it. They're not tracking the results. A lot of times people think, well, there's people in my space doing it, it must make money. Well, yes, but still there's usually 10 or 20% actually making money and the rest are just not. You'd be surprised what people don't know. They are, very few people, 20-30% maybe even tracking the results, know what they're even getting. Their sales from that blends in with the rest of their sales, and then they kind of delude themselves into thinking it makes money and it doesn't. And so ultimately, if you're going to be in that 10-20%, you got to do better than everybody else for the most part, in order to also not only be there but make money. And Google is able to artificially float up the cost per click because most people don't know what they're doing and making money. If they're making money or not, getting away with charging more. So you got to do even better than the average person just to be able to make money. So anyway, the first thing though, you got to always remember when you are writing a search ad is, I've seen this common misconception, and even people in our industry doing it on their own ads, in the PPC industry, where they'll try to weed out prospects they don't want just by using their ad copy. Your first and foremost goal always, and you're basically the only goal that you should really have is to get people to click on your ad at the highest possible rate you can. You advertise on keywords that statistically are worth advertising on. You may not know that for a while after using a process of elimination with your tracking, but ultimately once you know the keyword that you want a visitor from and a customer from, you do everything you can to get the highest click-through rate you can. Say whatever you have to say, do whatever you have to do. Let your landing page do the selling. Don't make your ad do the weeding out, because it doesn't work. They call it pay-per-click advertising technically, and they named it that because you're paying for a click, but if your click-through rate is low, your cost per click is going to go higher, because ultimately what it boils down to is Google's going to charge you per 1,000 impressions there, and the more clicks you get, the lower your cost per click is going to go, because you're doing more with the potential ad space than what you were doing before. So ultimately, yes, they're trying to weed out people that are doing a really crappy job at all the time, but then given the people that are left, you're basically paying for the ad space, and so the more people you get to click through, the more people you're going to get for your per dollar spent. And then that's where your profit really comes in. So and then with that, if you have a problem with getting people that are clicking through, that you're just getting too many bad leads, there's other ways to weed them out. You can go out and pick up purchase lists, email lists of people in your space that you want, upload them as an audience to your Google campaign, and only have your ads show up for the particular keywords you've chosen if they are in that list. That's just one secret of the biz that I personally use, and almost virtually nobody knows of that one, is one. And then the other is, of course, you can take your sales data, your revenue data, import it into your ad account, see where the sales are coming from, and weed out the demographics, times of the day, days of the week, so on and so forth, if people aren't converting into a sale with a high enough margin, and then you'll be eventually left, it won't work right away, with something that is profitable, but get something that gets a high click-through rate. So anyway, what gets a high click-through rate? Well, first and foremost with this too, SKAG or SKAG model of doing a ad campaign build. Most people, they want to get in, set up a campaign in 20 minutes. They don't want to pay somebody to help them do it. They don't want to do the work themselves. We want good results, better than average, and what it takes to actually get good results on Google Ads. You got to have a keyword set up for every ad, or close to, but just to go, for all practical purposes, for every single keyword you find it's worth bidding on, you want a custom ad set up for them that says, hey, to the visitor, click me, and when the consumer sees for any particular search 4 ads that show up there up at the top, you want your ad to seem the most relevant to them so that you're just the obvious choice. A lot of times people don't even think about what they read anyway. So even if you were to try to weed people out by what you say, a lot of times it's just automatic. And through psychology, the ad that says as close to what the person's typing in generally gets to click through for the most part there. That's why dynamic headlines work, but it works even better if you hand write an ad for every search, so you can think about what the user means and is thinking when they make that particular search, and then have a so attractive ad there set up for them so that you're the one that gets, out of the 4 that are there, chosen the most, and therefore you're going to make the most money out of anybody else. There's only so much pie there realistically, so you want more of the pie, and that's how you get more of the pie. So with that though, what I also do is, along with that model, a lot of people, well, I wouldn't say a lot, maybe 10% of people or less use the SKAG model. With that, I'd say 1% actually go through and they'll match the landing page headline with what is on the ad. So not only does the ad say pretty much, so you have one, SKAG is really about having one ad set up for every single keyword. I will, with that, and what a lot of people will do, they'll have the headline match with what the keyword is in that case, so it just makes it easy for the subconscious mind to click through your ad versus the other ads that are shown there. But you're making it even easier for the person to just pick up the phone and call you if you're doing a lead generation campaign. For e-commerce, the same thing. When you get to the page, you're not trying to make people think so that they get tired and then, they click back to Google. You're just saying exactly what they typed in there as well as on the headline of the page. If you're doing e-commerce, you can easily just have the category name or whatever your page is sending them to, search results page, that's set up for that to please that type of searcher for whatever that type of searcher is for that particular keyword. So the headline says it as well. And that'll keep them on the page so that they actually have a chance to go through and read everything else that's there. And by having that, it just gives you a greater chance that they will stay on the page, less balance. And then that will also, because of your quality score and your landing page experience score, Google checking out every person that does come to your page, they're going to give you a lower cost per click. You're also going to get more people that actually stays there on the page, which gets you a higher conversion rate and then therefore more money. So you're going to get a benefit from both angles there. But just as a side thing, as with the ads, you want the keyword to match what's on the headline of the ad, one ad for every keyword, and then one landing page for every keyword, which you just copy the landing page, make a custom headline that matches the keyword in the ad headline. You have very good results with that model. Yes, you will have to set up hundreds, if not thousands of ads, but if you want 10-to-1 returns on your campaigns, this is what you do. And if you don't want to do it, you hire somebody to do it for you because it will pay for itself. That could be my firm, which is something I do here. Anyway, moving on to the next thing. So as for the actual ad, what do you actually do to set up an ad that's going to get a high click-through rate other than just have the keyword in the headline? So for me, it's the same formula every time. So a lot of people have heard of the AIDA model, which attention, interest, desire, action. I'll have the first headline have something that grabs the attention and then generates interest directly following. And the second headline, you set up something that will generate desire and then tells the user what they need to do. So with that, I'll give you a couple of examples. So for like a local campaign, it's pretty much always the same. I have whatever city or neighborhood the user is in, and then the keyword in the headline. If it's a national campaign, I will have, just generally speaking, an adjective or there, or a descriptive word that there with the headline. So we'll have a keyword in the headline still. That's the case no matter what business it is. And then best, top, whatever it is, then the keyword, that's going to, what I found pretty much by in default, maybe not in every single case, but usually will get you the most people to stop, check it out, and respond with it. And then on the second headline, you're going to have something that's a differentiator, free shipping, whatever you're offering. And then your action on the last part of that second headline is buy now, visit us, read this, whatever it is, telling the user what you want them to do so it's clear before they have to click. You don't want people to have to wonder, well, am I going to get what I want when they get to the other side? That should be clear just through the headlines, headline 1 and headline 2, what you're getting on the other side, which with this formula, you generally can do that, and you want to do that. But, for that, like if you have an e-commerce business, not always, but you could certainly have a descriptive word and headline there. But one of the other things that I found works really well, just like a lot of people say to me, Corey, shopping campaigns are working well for us, but the search campaigns aren't. Search campaigns come with a whole nother level of effort to do well. Kind of, you're getting the idea of what it actually takes to make a search campaign work better, but it is an opportunity that exists for you. That's because basically just you put the work in and then you get the fruits and the competition don't. And it works even better than the shopping ads if you do it the right way. But with an e-commerce campaign, a lot of times, not even just with e-commerce, but a lot, you have the price just like a shopping ad. The reason why a shopping ad works so well is because it shows the user what they get before they even click. With the search ad, you could do the same thing. You can say, it's red shoes, and then the price, so they know what they're getting exactly. And then it can say free shipping or buy one, get one, and then shop here or shop now or buy now. So they know what they're going to get before they click. And because the other ads don't have the price on it, a lot of times they won't even look at the shopping ad, but because your search ad has the price on it, they'll click your ad, you get a high click-through rate, and then you can make the margin on the click that you need in order to make a profit. So that's one of the other things that I do a lot. So with that, I'll move on to, there's a couple other things that you should know about the ad writing itself, but I'll move on to my number 5 here on the list, which is why only 2 headlines? Why not 3 headlines? Google allows you to have 3 headlines now. By now, or at the time of watching this video, they may have more than 3. A lot of times people will run more than one ad in an ad group because they'll test different headlines. Bottom line, you want to find out what is the formula that's going to work pretty much in every case. You may have to split test one versus another way of writing the ad. At the end of the day, you want one ad in there that's going to work the best. And you follow this formula, and then what you do is you test one thing at a time. You just test the descriptive word. You just test the offer, the differentiator or differentiated offer for the user. And you test each element of the ad individually against the control ad there, and then you'll eventually find the ad that just absolutely destroys the competition, gets the highest click-through rate for that particular keyword, because it may vary from keyword to keyword. But what you don't want to do is get lazy and just put 3 different words in there and let Google figure it out. Google will eventually figure it out, but after they rape your wallet trying to figure it out, and even with that, why you don't want Google to have it's just a computer. You're going to do much better figuring out the formula that works and then just putting that in your account and making sure that Google host it the same way every time. Every time you rely on Google's system to figure it out for you, you're going to pay a price for doing so. But with that, and other ways that you can use that ad to stand out to make sure, guarantee you're the ad every time in your market for all the keywords that you have, that you get the best click-through rate. One of which is special characters. So special characters, symbols. Two of my favorites that I know generally work is having TM for trademark, R for the restricted logo. You could technically use stuff like that without actually legally having it, and it's kind of a gray area, but Google doesn't actually check or require you to have it to use it necessarily. So, but when you do have it, all I'm saying is you'll get it'll catch the eye and get your headline read. So it's always about catching the eye, the attention part of this equation, AIDA equation, and then knowing that you have what they want, it's different and better than what they're looking for, and then that it's clear what they should do. You're not asking them to think for themselves, you're just telling them what to do. Hey, we have what you want, go. So, and then another little trick that I found is having an exclamation point at the end of your ad. Just by taking a regular old ad, put an exclamation point on the end of the second headline, or even the first headline, that can jump your click-through rates a lot. So it's something for you to try that just commonly works on our campaigns. Running a sale. So if you've done all this stuff, you got good results already, you can get even better results by having a sale that will get turned off and rotated off and on every month. So you have red shoes, instead of just cheap red shoes indicating, or the best #1 red shoes to get people's attention and interest there initially. Red shoes for sale, on sale, April only. I know it's hard to fit that whole thing in 30 characters on the headline, but you get my point. What do you got to click on? Red shoes for sale, red shoes, discount, April only. It's clear, right? So you could do that. You usually find a click-through rate that's almost double over the one that doesn't have a sale. Yes, it takes time to update your ads once a month, but you just keep a sale perpetuated, have different excuses for every time that you have the sale. There's no reason why you can't do an Easter sale and then a May Day sale and then on and on. Summer sale. This is something that I do routinely in our campaigns to boost the numbers, and it always is worth your time. You just get a good system going, and if you can't, again, someone like myself can help you run like something like that. It's profitable enough that it covers somebody to help you do it, and then some greatly. But just another little trick that you can add to what you're doing, or add to what you're doing right now without going through all the stuff, even it would work. And then if you have a brand ad, so you use the TMR on the ad. That's for general formula for that. So I talked about just general, ads, but for a brand ad, you would have one of those in it. Another little trick that I use, official site. That'll actually get your ad clicked at a higher rate than the people trying to scalp clicks off of you. If it's a competitive ad for your competitors' keywords, I always use stuff like tired of X. Find the problem that the market has, or that the competition specifically has with it. Put it there. And then explain why you don't have that on the second headline. That's a really good way to make money. Sometimes you can't use the competitor's name in the headline because of trademark issues, but if they don't have a trademark on their name, there's no reason why you can't put their name in the headline. That'll usually generate about double the click-through rates all in itself versus not. It may piss off your competitors, but just telling you in advance what the differences are here. So I think I covered everything that I need to cover on this video in terms of the general strategy that I use on my stuff. In the different categories of businesses that are out there to write ads for that are a little bit different, local versus national versus national service versus an e-commerce type business. But in general, that's the stuff that you want to use. Lace your ad with, ultimately what it comes down to is bottom line stuff that your competition doesn't have. Go ahead and run a couple searches for keywords. See what's out there. Find out what would make it stand out to where it would clearly be different than the rest, and use that. Sometimes it takes more, sometimes it takes less, depending on the sophistication of the market. Sometimes you don't even need all that stuff. You just need a good base ad that actually is well written for the particular keyword and for every keyword you have. Sometimes you have to pull out all the stops, add in the special characters. But if you go through this, 99.9% of the time, you're going to have click-through rates that's not 2.5% click-through rate, which is about the industry standard. You're going to have something with an 8% click-through rate or 10% click-through rate. Yes, it's going to take you 100, 200 hours to really do all the work, but anything that was going to make you a couple $1 million a year in sales by setting this up, did you think it was going to be easy? So, and for all practical purposes, it's profitable enough. You hire somebody who has a good system set up to help you do all that work, and then it pays for itself for years. Not only will it generate a couple million a year, but as long as you stay on top of it and you add just a slight tweak to stay on top of your ad in case somebody tries to copy it, which is not that common, but that you put more and more distance between you and your competitors, eventually they'll just give up. I've seen that, not always, but will that happen? Obviously, but it's something that you recycle that money in, and then you just absolutely starve a competition. Your ads are so good, your competition's ads are getting clicked so less, they really can't keep up with you, and then eventually they just have to drop out, essentially. So I've seen it happen. It is possible. It's not an embellishment. Anyway, that should give you a general idea of how to set up a search ad on Google search like a rock star, or like an expert who's been doing it 15 years, given I've been doing it for that long, just about here already, and getting great results with it. Enough to guarantee our clients results. You can guarantee them for yourself. Hope you enjoyed the video. Check out my other videos. I have lots of other videos about other topics, other